When the Good Guys Car Show comes to Columbus every year, there's a lot of activity in town, especially at Quaker Steak and Lube at Polaris.
So this is a madhouse.
Did you expect anything less?
Every year, the police block off a section of street next to the restaurant and allow people to do burnouts. This attracts thousands of people who watch even from the rooftops. Now, typically during the summer, we're traveling and racing with the kids, but recently we've been taking a little bit of a break, which has allowed Vicky and I to go do some things on our own, like taking the El Camino to dinner, if we can find somewhere to park.
We did find a place to park.
Vicky and I went inside, got seated right away, put our order in, and had just begun eating dinner when an unwanted visitor arrived.
As bad as it was earlier.
The show had attracted Buckwheat to the area, and he found the El Camino parked outside. He had plans to go to Good Guys in Columbus on Saturday, but Vicky and I had other plans. Brian Suter of G-Body Classic Garage had invited us to come up to the Medina County Fairgrounds for the G-Body Classic Garage Car Show. I had the Malibu all detailed and ready to go. So I was a little frustrated we got caught in a pop-up shower on our way up 71. Eventually we were able to drive out from under the clouds, but it looks like they're following us to Medina. On the bright side, at least we've got air conditioning to keep us comfortable on our drive. Although the rain showers had delayed our arrival time, we felt we had plenty of time to enjoy the show since it was scheduled to go on until 7:30 p.m. However, due to the threat of rain, a lot of people had already left by the time we pulled in. Vicky and I drove straight to the registration tent where Brian from Classic G-Body Garage was waiting to greet us and had actually saved us a spot right up front. It was a little chaotic at first when we got there, because there was a lot of people waiting to see us and ask questions about the car while we were trying to get the baby out of the car seat and film before it rained. Just as we got Wyatt strapped into the stroller, a passing shower came through. So Vicky and I went inside to check out all the cars and parts that were on display indoors. All of the GM brands were well represented by both low-mileage originals and tastefully modified cars alike. Vicky and I have always liked Monte Carlo Super Sports. There were quite a few of them on display this year, including one that really caught my eye. This particular 86 SS is a factory AC delete bench seat with a dealer-installed 5-speed transmission. There's an unknown number of these cars that came from Schenck Chevrolet in New Jersey, all of which were converted using GM parts, with the only exception being the Hurst 5-speed shifter. After hanging out with everybody inside for about an hour, Wyatt was anxious to get out of the stroller and make his rounds as well. By this time, it had finally quit raining, so I went outside to dry the car off and talk to some people who had questions about the car. There were lots of questions about the Viking dual adjustable shocks, the RC comp wheels, and the CVF kit on the engine. I, however, had questions about the Monte Carlo that they were giving away at the show. So we might win this.
For $10.
I don't know if the air conditioning works.
But I know a guy.
So if we win this thing, we're going to have to drive it home somehow.
I'll drive it.
You will? You'd rather drive that than my Malibu.
For $10, what's it gonna hurt to try?
Unfortunately, Vicky and I did not win the Monte Carlo. By the time the show was coming to an end, we were all starting to get pretty hungry. So we topped off the Malibu with E85 and got back on the road headed south. We brought up directions to a restaurant we've eaten at up in Amish country, but we had to really hustle to get there before they quit seating for dinner this evening.
Good job. Minutes to spare. Hurry.
If you ever get the opportunity to stop and eat at this place, the food is absolutely amazing. Wyatt especially liked the carrots. After an entire day of riding around the backseat of the Malibu, Wyatt felt like a pretty cool dude. The old Malibu's just racy enough to sound good, yet still comfortable enough to drive all day with the windows up and the air conditioning on, and thanks to the overdrive transmission, it maintains a 200-plus mile cruise range between fuel stops, even on E85. Anyway, the next day I was back to work up at Bob's trying to get the edges of his pond all cleaned up in preparation for his daughter's wedding this September. The weather this summer has been so difficult to get anything done, especially given the frequency for rain showers, with over 15 inches of rain falling here in Central Ohio since May 1st. So even though it's Sunday, I didn't want to waste a nice dry sunny day headed into the work week. Thankfully, the weather cooperated just long enough for me to get Bob's pond completely finished up by Thursday afternoon, which was a major relief since I've got a lot of things coming up this coming weekend, including a field trip up to West Salem, Ohio with Tommy, Allison, and Jeff to visit with some friends of ours who lost everything they owned in a shop fire about a year ago. Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday. We've got a little bit of a field trip scheduled for today. This week's been really hectic. There's been a lot going on, but not a lot of stuff that anybody would want to care to watch or hear about. Just yard work and working around up at Bob's a little bit. I got the pond all finished up, but we got rained out Friday, and so I haven't been up there since. Just kind of been taking it easy this week, doing yard work and getting the place cleaned up and working on lawnmowers and shit like that. Nothing really exciting, but we've got a field trip scheduled. Oh wait, yeah, there's this thing. I forgot this monstrosity. Billy picked this up. It's a Cutlass, and it's got a big block Chevy in it. It doesn't run very well. We were out late last night testing that thing, trying to get it to run. We swapped carburetors on it. The carburetor on is kind of a pile, and then it had ignition problems, and I don't know. Kenny and Billy were out here late last night fiddling with this thing, trying to get it to run, and yeah, so you'll see that probably on Street Racing Channel at some point. But but for today, we've got a field trip scheduled for me, Tommy, Allison, and Jeff. Hello, famdamily. We are headed to On 3 Performance. No,
Big three.
I'm sorry, Big 3.
Cut.
Redo that.
Take 2.
On 3 Performance. No. Big 3 Performance.
That's going to be the entire time until you put your seatbelt.
Oh, we're in Jeff's kraut wagon.
All
All right, now we are. What? You told me I had to redo the intro.
Did you choose now when we're all stuffing our faces?
What? I'm not. Everybody else is. Look at Jeff getting fat over there.
Back.
We are on our way to Big 3 Performance. Not On 3.
No.
Big
no.
Big 3.
Racing.
Big 3R. Big 3. A B3R.
Good.
Big.
Just picture B3R. Big 3 Racing. Not
Take 2.
Performance.
All right, we're on our way to Big 3 Racing. There it is. We're on our way to Big 3 Racing for a shop tour, because Jeffrey over here is going to try and swindle him out of a... What are you trying to do? Swindle him out of a Hemi?
This top secret.
Oh. Evidently, Jeffrey had a secret, and only his closest friends and confidants have any idea what he's up to. Anyway, we all loaded up in Jeffrey's kraut wagon and started making our way up 71 North to West Salem, Ohio, home of Dragway 42 and Big 3 Racing. We were invited by Rick Trunkett, one of the owners of Big 3, to come up and do a shop tour of the new facility, which has just recently reopened for business. Now, as the name implies, they work on anything V8, GM, Ford, or Chrysler. Rick uses a lot of his first-hand experience with his own drag and drive car to help all of his customers with their builds. And as you can see out in the customer parking area, there's a little bit of everything. But Rick himself is a die-hard Mopar guy, which is probably why Jeffrey and Allison, and to some extent Tommy, are interested in coming up here to see what all's going on at Big 3 Racing, and maybe even pick up some tips and tricks for some upcoming projects on Gen 2 Garage. Rick, what's happening, man?
Hi, welcome.
This is an amazing new shop.
Thank you. I am so excited to finally have a home after a year of being a gypsy tuner. Just going everywhere and anywhere. Got to meet a lot of cool people in my travels, though.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to actually come somewhere to call home.
Yeah.
And this is our new home.
So let's back up a little bit. You had a shop up near Cleveland, right?
Yeah, we were in Hinckley since 2007. So we're there almost 18 years. Unfortunately, we suffered a total disaster fire, lost
Right.
everything almost a year ago, next week actually. 23 cars, unfortunately,
Oh my gosh.
customers, all of our tools, all of our equipment, 18 years of stuff. Toolboxes, things of your personal that you don't even remember that you've had, car parts,
Right,
some pretty rare stuff that's never going to come back.
right.
But
So this place is new, top to bottom, front to back, everything, right down to the bend pack, the exhaust benders, the welders, the weld tables, the lifts, the floor, the shop.
Everything brand new.
Everything is brand new.
Yeah, luckily we've had a really good relationship with Ron and Marianne Matcham, the owners of Dragway 42. And this kind of was already in the works, but it was supposed to happen about a year later. You know, we were sponsor, we do track rentals, we became friends, and you know, we're just talking. He's talking about putting a tire shop here, and I go, you know what? Here's what I pay for rent. I go, if you put a building up, I'll move. I'll move all our stuff to the track, and it was a process. And then the fire happened. And I said, Ron, well, it's time. Now or nothing, because we got to find somewhere. We got to find a home. So he said.
So this was in process.
It was in the talks. So it wasn't. It was supposed to happen a year.
Yeah.
Probably like a year from now. You know what I mean? So it was a plan. We were trying to move forward with it, but it was in the talking phase. And then the fire happened, and I says, now or never. We got to do it. And you know, Ron really stepped up to the plate, and he got it done. He built us some buildings on here, gave us a plot of land.
That's awesome.
Now he's our landlord.
So what would you say your bread and butter is here at Big 3?
So obviously we're a full service shop, right? So we have all these lifts, we do in and out, but you can only get so much done. We do a lot of parts sales. Holly EFI is actually a real big part of our business. We do about $300,000 or $400,000 a year in sales just with them, including remote tuning. We have 3 chassis dynos, so we're able to rent dynos and do a lot of tuning on most OEM ECUs and then some aftermarket stuff.
So you've got 3 dynos back there. You've got a hub dyno.
Yep, 6,000 horsepower.
6,000 horsepower. You've got a 2-wheel drive Mustang dyno. Is that what that is?
Yes, and then an all-wheel drive Mustang.
And then an all-wheel drive Mustang dyno. So you've got 3 dynos here to keep busy.
Yes, and we generally do 4 cars a day.
Do you really?
Yeah. We have a iTune. Chuck, my partner, tunes, and then we have a full-time tuner, Jason, that also tunes OEM ECU stuff full-time. So we do each roller dyno has a car scheduled in the morning and a car scheduled at night, in the afternoon.
I got you. And what's nice about this is, if something goes wrong, you've got a full staff here that can help take care of stuff. Because if it's anything like my stuff, as soon as I bolt on a dyno, everything falls apart.
Correct. Yeah. So that's we kind of hit home on the dyno experience, and everybody that's come here and dyno with us previously or even now knows that we pretty much have the ability to overcome any obstacle.
Yes.
We get a lot of people from out of town. We got a lot of people from out of state, and when you get here and you can't just have a sensor end your dyno session.
Right. You can't just turn around and drive back home because of a sensor.
So we keep a large stock of spark plug wires, sensors, ECUs, harnesses. There's more likely we could overcome it in a pretty quick fashion, whether it be a cracked pipe or lines or fittings. We have the whole Frangola crimping section as well as reusable, so we can make any lines, any fittings.
Yep. You've got everything here to wire stuff?
Yes, we have a full wiring and connectors and pins. We've got a full hardware section by bolts and nuts, set us all up with all of our nuts, bolts, and all the basic stuff for that. Fittings, lines, just whatever we come across, we could usually get through it.
That's awesome. That's a big deal. Like if you're coming from far away and something minuscule happens on the dyno, it's not going to stop you from continuing on.
No. Plus all the normal parts stores also deliver here, so we could get any basic stuff. But we keep all in the standard common OEM sensors and LS cam and crank sensors, map sensors, all that stuff. So we could get through it.
So also in the summertime, you know, you're right next door to the track.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And you've got a pretty good working relationship.
Oh yeah. So they actually probably do more track rentals than anybody else around that I know of. It's not common to have 3 or 4 track rentals here a week. So,
really?
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we could literally put on the dyno, roll it off, and 530 feet away is the starting line. So we could test it. Now,
where else can you do that?
Nowhere. Not that I know of.
Not that I know of.
And I do track rentals also, and I do evening track rentals. So I don't know anyone else that does that. So I worked it out with them that we turn the lights on and we rent the track at night. A, you don't have to call off work or get off work, or I don't have to stop my day. B, it's not hot.
You're right.
The sun's not beating on you. The track's not greasy. So we want the cars to run good. So we do our track rentals in the evening, as well as there's usually 3 or 4 during the day a week. Plus
That's
the
awesome.
test and tune. So if we set it up, if we call and we schedule it, we could say, hey, come in on a Tuesday. We'll get the car on the dyno and we'll plan to test the next Wednesday or something like that.
And that's a world-class facility as far as track service and everything.
Yes.
Right next door.
Right
like
next
I wouldn't even say right next door, like in your backyard.
Yeah, we're on the same ground, same address. So It's pretty awesome. It's a pretty awesome experience, and like I'm just super thankful that we got this chance to do this.
So you've got a little bit of everything here. You guys aren't just specifically Chrysler.
No.
Right there's a Trailblazer.
Yeah, so Big 3 Racing is actually the Big 3 manufacturers. We'll do anything American.
Anything
American V8 or larger.
I got you.
We won't really do V6
America.
America,
Hear
Jeff.
that? America.
He's all about America.
Red, white, and blue.
The story about how Rick Trunkett became a diehard Mopar guy and how his passion, along with his two friends, Chuck Stefanski and Bob Hess, turned into this business that we now know as Big 3 Racing is really pretty incredible. So I wanted to take an opportunity to introduce Rick as well as Big 3 Racing to the audience of my channel, because in the coming weeks, Tommy, Allison, Jeff, and I are going to do a podcast with Rick to share the story about how Rick and his two buddies got started in this business, how they lost it all and brought it all back. Well, buddy, it's been an amazing experience being up here to hear your story of how this all got started. And honestly, it's too much just to put in a video on my channel. Like the other day you mentioned on Facebook, you were looking for someone who was interested in doing a podcast. And that's really where your story would do well, I feel. So I thought if we come up here today and we introduce you and we introduce your business and then let Tommy and Allison and the kids do a podcast on their channel, because they have a podcast channel. I don't necessarily do podcasts, but it's an amazing story, how you got started, where you came from, and how this all happened, how you lost everything, and now you're back.
We're back.
It's pretty amazing.
And I can't wait to share it with everybody.
It's just a really amazing story. I think a lot of people will enjoy. I really do.
I appreciate you coming.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
So this brings us to Sunday, and guess what's back? The rain. I ran up Sunday morning and grabbed the excavator at Bob's to bring it home so I could do some work at my house. I had a bunch of brush out back I wanted to get burned while everything else is still wet, and it was Wyatt's first time seeing a brush fire and seeing the excavator in action. He wanted an opportunity to get up in the cab, and it didn't take him long to figure out some of the controls. He grabbed a hold of the hand controls for the track motors and was driving the excavator through the driveway, tracking mud everywhere. Meanwhile, his dad was busy working on this Cutlass. He swapped the carburetor off the 55 onto it and figured out all the ignition problems. Once me and Wyatt got done running the excavator, Vicky and I decided to put him in the car seat in the Malibu and go find something for dinner. Par for the course lately, it started sprinkling as soon as we pulled out of the driveway. So we picked a place close to home that, according to the radar, wouldn't be affected by the incoming thunderstorms that seemed to follow us around. We took Wyatt into Pataskala and had dinner at Elliott's. It's a wood-fired oven pizza place with plenty of crayons and paper for Wyatt to scribble on. Keeping him entertained lately has become a full-time job in and of itself. He's always on the go and eager to share food with you or the dogs, unless of course it's marshmallows out of my cereal. He typically doesn't share those with anyone but his papaw, and only because they were in my bowl to begin with. The time off from racing lately has given us plenty of time to spend with Wyatt and get some projects completed here at the shop. We've also got quite a bit of maintenance to get taken care of, both on the motorhome and the race cars. Billy's motorhome has been given a little bit of trouble lately, and so he has scheduled it into the local RV dealership where he bought it to get a few problems taken care of before we head back out on the road. I followed him over to RCD in the Malibu so he could drop it off and get everything serviced. I wasn't really sure what I was going to get into this afternoon since it's still too wet out back to do any dirt work. But when Billy and I pulled back in the driveway at home, I found Denny in his Camaro with the hood up. Dennis the Menace. What are you doing?
Here I am with hat in hand.
Hat in hand?
I'm telling you, I'm begging for some assistance.
What's wrong?
I don't know. The gauges, when I was going over to see Julie, and I almost stopped. I called her and said, I can't make it. I'm going to stop at Bill's. But I thought I'll take it on over. But the gauges, it shows discharge on my amp.
Uh-oh.
And the oil pressure drops down to 25 and then back up to 50 and down to 30. And it just fluctuates. But the thing that I noticed, there's a flutter in the exhaust.
Huh.
When I was going down Broad Street, I went past the car making a left-hand turn into Kroger.
Yeah.
And I could really hear it. The exhaust is just fluttering. I don't know how to describe it other than fluttering.
Huh.
And it just didn't seem as smooth and strong as what it did taking it back from House of Pearls. So I thought, man, I'll swing by and put my hat in my hand and say, Bill, could you please help?
Oh, let's check it out.
Yeah, please, thank you. I appreciate that, sir.
It didn't take too long to figure out the oil pressure problem.
Oh, shit.
2 quarts of oil added to the crankcase had the oil pressure right back where it should be. And then moments later, the fluttering Denny was describing became evident.
Idle would just get up 1,200 down to 8.
So what I'm noticing is the rear float level is set pretty high.
All right.
And that's either because the rear floats maybe lost some buoyancy, or possibly it's got a little bit of trash stuck in the needle and seat in the back from sitting. And so what happens is eventually the rear bowl overfills, and then the fuel runs out the boosters, down the venturi, and it starts to flood the car. And that's why you hear the exhaust fluttering, and you got to keep your foot on the gas to keep it running and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and readjust the rear float level, and we'll go from there, okay?
Fantastic.
We'll take it for a test drive and see what it does.
Okay.
I went ahead and lowered the rear float level 2 flats, and then retightened the adjusting screw. Okay, start it up, Denny. That's much better.
It's much better.
You want to take it for a drive? Let's go see what it does?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's go see if it does anything now.
Yes.
That's much better.
Much better. Oh, God. Oh. This is like when I left House of Pearls. That sounds wonderful. Oh. Oh, my, yes.
Simple fix, Dennis.
I can't tell you how to fix it, but I can tell you what's wrong. Something's wrong.
There you go. 2 quarts of oil and a float adjustment had Denny's old 68 Super Sport Camaro back up and running, good as new. But just to be sure, I told Denny, let's take the car down to the Sheetz fuel station, top it off with fuel, and take the old Camaro for an extended test drive. After all, the car has been sitting since last winter, with the exception of a trip up to House of Pearls. Although Denny started the car and let it run once a month ever since we put the new carburetor on it, any older car like Denny's Camaro that sits as much as this car does is bound to have little things that pop up from time to time. I genuinely love seeing Denny in his Camaro, and I don't mind one bit helping him keep the car up and running. There's nothing quite like a big block 4-speed 68 Camaro to cruise around in on a bright sunny day. However, one thing Denny doesn't realize about his Camaro is that the House of Pearls paint correction was only step 1 of a 2-step process of getting Denny's Camaro ready for summer. Now, the outside of Denny's Camaro looks fabulous, but under the hood, that's another story. And I figured today is as good a day as any to get started on maintenance, not only on my car, but on Denny's Camaro as well. While Denny and I were out on our test drive, Kenny was back at the shop changing oil in my Malibu and helping Billy clean out a bunch of scrap out of the shop. And I had called Uncle Terry to deliver some parts on his way home from Jake's.
Look who it is.
Terry's dropping off some parts for Denny's Camaro, but Denny has no idea that his wish list of parts for under the hood has already been delivered to the shop. Right now, he's just delighted that the car runs like it should.
He's got this thing purring like a kitten. Take it out, the 4-barrel just cranks open, cruise it down the road, 35, 40 mile an hour, it just purrs. There's no sputter in the exhaust, it's just my gauges are all back where they're supposed to be. Tell me it makes sense to me. It doesn't. It makes sense to Bill, and that's the important thing, you know? Oh, it's gonna sit straight away. Dear Lord, get a shot of that. Oh my God. Whoa.